So Liberty Media and Formula One Management, FIA, they've caved to the pressure and influence of Mario Andretti and the U.S. Department of Justice and have accepted Cadillac GM as the newest F1 team and the 11th team on the grid for the 2026 season under new regulations. Might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's a deep web of drama between Liberty Media and Andretti, and today we will unpack it all and uncover the truth in this conspiracy of Liberty Media against Andretti and specifically Michael Andretti. So let's get started with the announcement from F1 today. F1 announced today that it has reached an agreement in principle with GM to support bringing Cadillac GM as the 11th team to the grid in 2026. And then they go ahead and all the different people up here make their statements about it and everything like that. One guy we're going to keep in mind here is this guy Dan Taurus. He's essentially a big investor, owns TWG Global, and also is a heavy investor in Andretti. And he seems like the one that is really starting the effort to make this happen and has been a main partner in this. So all of this happens after Andretti just months ago got denied by Liberty Media, and they said essentially that they will bring no benefit to F1 if they are added on the grid as an Andretti team. F1's biggest opponent now out of the picture. So Greg Maffei, or what is his name? Greg Maffei, whatever the hell you want to say it. This guy right here, he is the CEO, or was the CEO of Liberty Media. And back when this happened, allegedly, they say allegedly, but he said it, said, Mario, I want to tell you that I will do everything in my power to see that Michael never enters Formula One. So the beef here is with Michael Andretti, this guy right here. And I think it's a case of like, Mario Andretti is obviously a massively respected and well-known figure in racing in general. So I feel like it's a case of like, oh, Mario, I have so much respect for you, but your son is such an asshole. I can't do, but it's one of those things. Like, dude, get over yourself. You know what I mean? So this guy Greg Maffei put his foot down about this, and after this happened, um, Liberty Media gets a Department of Justice little inquiry, about maybe a antitrust lawsuit. They're saying that they could potentially or will bring an antitrust lawsuit against Liberty Media in light of them rejecting Andretti at the time. So this all happens, and then once they announce the antitrust lawsuit, then Michael Andretti, shortly after that, he steps down. So this was October 7th, 2024. Um, and it's more of a public step down. It's not that he's leaving. It's not that he's retiring or whatever. He needs to publicly step down so that when Andretti or their partners, like a Cadillac GM, go to F1 and want to enter, they say that this guy's no longer associated. Da 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 da. It's pretty much what happened was Liberty Media told them we're not accepting any team that has Michael Andretti a part of it. That's what happened. Um, and because of that, I think because of that, Greg Maffei is now stepping down as the Liberty Media CEO. Again, we've said this in previous videos, but it's like when a cop does something wrong and then they resign from their position. Yeah, they resign, not got fired, right? So there's been a lot of people that have been stepping down at Liberty Media and the FIA recently too. So I don't believe any of it, and it's a massive shitstorm. I believe because of the Department of Justice lawsuit. And for one reason is because back in 1991 or 1994, I believe the actual lawsuit was, 1991, Liberty Media acquired telecommunications, which at the time owned Sirius XM, Formula One, Live Nation, Doma Sports, which is MotoGP. So they owned a lot of those live racing sports, pretty much the top, MotoGP and F1, right? So they brought an antitrust lawsuit against Liberty Media back then in 1994 because they were claiming that they might be starting a monopoly. And I don't need to explain monopolies to you guys. I'm sure you know, and if not, just look it up. And back then, I looked at the court record. We don't need to go over it. Essentially, what the outcome was is that they said that there was no pretty not that nobody did anything wrong, but they pretty much just wiped their hands clean of it, and everybody walked away, and they acted like it didn't happen, essentially, without actually going through it word by word. It essentially said that like this ruling doesn't necessarily say that they did or didn't do anything under the law or under any law. It was a whole lot of just gobbledygook bullshit. It pretty much said that we're just not going to do anything about this. We're backing off, essentially. So back then, the Department of Justice backed off. And what I think's funny now is that the U.S. Department of Justice, the people that the Congress people that brought it was Jim Jordan of Texas and I believe Amy Klobuchar of like Minnesota or something like that. Jim Jordan, if you're not American, don't know, Jim Jordan's in Texas. He's extremely conservative, and Amy Klobuchar is the complete opposite of the spectrum. So it's funny that even given that, they were still jointly bringing. It was, I think, 6 Congress people were bringing this were set at least claiming that they were going to bring this antitrust lawsuit against Liberty Media, and now all of a sudden, Michael Andretti steps down. He's not a part of it. And now all of a sudden GM Cadillac gets through. And not only is GM Cadillac getting through, but Mario Andretti, this guy right here, the father of Michael Andretti, who Greg Maffei said would never be a part of F1 as long as he's there. Mario Andretti is now announced as the director of the board, or on the board of directors for Cadillac moving forward. His statement says, "I feel very lucky that I've been able to stick around for this long and do what I love. The idea that Cadillac F1 team wants me around, I'll help when I can. A non-executive role with the team and not involved in day-to-day operations. So strictly just for show, cosmetic, whatever you want to call it. It's he's not going to be doing anything there. And the reason they did that is they said, we'll take Mario Andretti's name and throw that on the company to give it some credibility. But Michael Andretti, the guy that actually wants to be a part of the day-to-day operations, we want nothing to do with you. So again, I think it's a case of like, oh, we have so much respect for Mario Andretti, so we want him to be a part of it. But Michael Andretti, we don't like him. Like, just get the fuck over yourself, dude. And this dude, Greg Maffei, I mean, he looks like that type of motherfucker, honestly, bro. This guy looks like that type of guy right there. Also looks like a different type of guy, but we'll leave that for a different time. But anyway, he's getting himself canned over this, so I hope it was worth it, little bro. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. And America still gets their F1 team, and so I don't know. The big question is what's next for Andretti Global, because they built this they have a Silverstone fucking factory right down the street from Aston Martin, just like any good F1 team would, and now they have this and kind of are sitting on it. They have nothing to do with it. So this article is essentially saying what's next for Andretti Global. They go over a lot of stuff, and Andretti's in obviously they're in plenty of other things other than F1. But I think they say here that they are investing in a IMSA hypercar with Cadillac, and they're going to go forward with that, for the 2025 season. So Andretti Global has other ties with Cadillac and GM in the racing world, particularly in endurance racing. Andretti has partnered with Wayne Taylor Racing for the 2025 IMSA season, which is just hypercars, and they'll race with Cadillac machinery in the prototype class. So that's cool. That's good for them. I imagine they can use that factory for that too. I think IMSA could probably be tested pretty easily at Silverstone too. But obviously that's not what they wanted. And the only reason really that they're not getting it is because this fucking guy, Greg Maffei, this guy, doesn't like this guy. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. He's a little bit punchable, you know what I mean? A little bit of a chubby face. But listen, dude, this guy looks like he does a lot of other shit that's a lot less unsightly. So we'll just say that. I just don't get it. I don't get why would you cost why would you throw away he's been there for how long? Since what? 20 something 19s, in the 19s even. No, he's been there forever, dude. This guy's been there forever and throws it away over Michael Andretti. So I hope it was worth it. And we'll just finish up with this. 4 reasons why GM's huge rival in F1 can be. It's kind of anticlimactic, right? It was supposed to be Andretti, and everybody will refer to it as Andretti. And Cadillac, a lot of people are not happy because I think Cadillac disrespected Andretti and Americans by doing this and other things and whatever. But in my opinion, dude, I guess more American teams on the grid, the better. I just hope they actually use American drivers, because what are we doing if we're bringing these American teams and then bringing in non-American drivers? Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It should be like a factory team, really. And if you're not doing that, then it's gonna get no fucking support from me. But that's it, man. It's a deep web of lies with Liberty Media, because they wanted to come out and say that Andretti was going to have no benefit to the brand of F1 and this and that. Of course they would, dude. Of course, plenty of Americans would have gotten on board and started watching because of that, and would have been supporters, bought the merch, watched this and that, buy your little precious F1 TV. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bullshit. And it was just, and then Greg Maffei comes out after that ruling and says, "Yeah, I told Mario that there's no way I'll let Michael in ever." Get the fuck over yourself, bro. What is this, fucking 12th grade? Like, get over it, man. You know what I mean? You're a grown-ass man. There's no you can't have no good reason for it either. What's the good reason that you don't want Michael Andretti in the sport? Just because you don't like him? Like, see ya, bro. See ya. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's good we have an 11th team. More competition, more good drivers on the grid. And more opportunities, like this article says. More opportunities for other teams to then use the GM and Cadillac as a supplier. So I think it's going all the way around. I don't see a fucking problem with it. I don't know why they did reject Andretti, but we know now why. And I do hope that the Department of Justice, we'll finish up with that. I do hope the Department of Justice continues the antitrust lawsuit because they still denied Andretti. Andretti did not get in. So I think that they should still investigate that because, first of all, Liberty Media is an American company. Founded by billionaire John C. Malone in 1991. They're an American media company. So first of all, fuck you. You know what I mean? This fucking guy, eat a fucking bag of dicks. You know what I mean? Fuck this guy, first of all. You're supposed to be working for an American company. Let's get some true fucking red-blooded fucking Americans in there. Do this shit right. And second of all, no reason to reject them other than a personal vendetta. So I hope they go forward with the antitrust lawsuit, sue these rich motherfuckers, give them a taste of their own medicine, let them know they're not just gonna be able to do whatever the fuck they want. Not in America, brother. Okay, if you want to do that shit, take that shit somewhere else. We don't want our name anywhere near that shit. Okay. And that's it for me, all right? Like the video, subscribe. I'm going to be back with a lot more content. We're going to talk about Ferrari. Everybody and their grandma's making a video about it, so we're not going to talk about that right now, but we'll talk about that. We're going to go over Max's season, all this other good stuff, and obviously do some predictions for Qatar as well. So I'll be back. Yeah, subscribe. Peace.